Okay, guys, I'm going to give you the secret to how to make training times easy, successful, staying on target, and setting your dog up for success. How's that sound? Does that sound pretty cool? It should be pretty cool because it is. Now, you are going to need a couple things for this. You're going to need to brainstorm and come up with a list of the skills and the tasks that you need to train your service dog. Okay? And you're also going to need two other things. You're going to need a set of index cards and a Sharpie or two. Now, you might have a Sharpie at home. You might have index cards at home. I'm going to tell you to go out and buy new, because not only is it fun to buy new index cards and Sharpies, but they cost, what, $1 or $2 a piece? And trust me, you do not want to run out of Sharpie ink while you're doing this and not be able to finish it in one sitting. So this is what I used. I used index cards. They did not have to be ruled. Mine were ruled, so I just used the back side of them. And you notice it's assorted colors. So I got that. You want to get assorted colors, guys, because you want to use the black Sharpie. So we have a black Sharpie. Most of them are fine point. So get the fine point, and then I got an extra and an ultra fine point just for some of the smaller writing. So you need two of them. Actually, you don't need all three. So we'll chop one of them. But you're going to want a Sharpie, and make it a black Sharpie, guys. It's going to be easier to see. Okay. You might get the soft colored. You might get the neon. So these are both pink. Right? One of them's neon colored. If you can tell, one of them's soft colored. It does not matter. It's personal preference. It's whatever your eyes are going to be easier to see. Do not get just white. You want to know why you're not going to get just white? Is because you're going to have to then color the whole entire thing, because I tried just coloring in a little corner up here, and guess what? I can't see it from a distance. So I have no idea. And then you could say, well, mark the Sharpie, get a different colored Sharpie if you're going to do white. And I mean, that's a possibility, but then you're going to be, is that blue or is that purple or is that black? I can't really read the green. You know, if it's dark enough to be seen, you want to make sure it can be seen. So tell me which level each of these are. All right, this is a green level. This, we have no idea. Okay, but you're like, I don't understand what we're doing here. What we're doing is you are going to have yourself a custom deck of training cards. Okay, now we might in the future come up and have these available, but right now you have to make them. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make them. Okay, you are going to color code as well, and I'm going to show you exactly what we did here, guys, because trust me, I would rather have you do it than me have to do it for each person. So green is easy, right? It's kind of universal. Green is easy. Green is go. So green is what you can go with from the get-go. Right? Yellow. Yellow is a little more advanced. And then we have orange is even more advanced. And then, because they were neon set, I have pink. Pink are tasks. So you can break it down more than that if you want to, but I find breaking it into 4 different categories works well. Okay, and so green is the easy stuff, right? I'm going to show you what we have in green. So be ready to write this down. Be ready to pause me, because I'm not going to wait. I talk kind of fast. And you can notice I have them written pretty big. My handwriting is also pretty nice. But I have them written pretty big. Why? What are you going to do with these cards? What is the point? I should actually get to that before I tell you what's all in them. So when you go and do a training session with your dog, and you're sitting down and you've got your clicker, right? And you've got your treats, and you've got your dog, and what are you going to work on? And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to work on. And what do you train first? And how is your dog? Where's your dog at training wise? You need to have an organizational system in place. And here's my organizational system. You're going to get a cork board, you know, a big thumbtack board, or a section of your wall, okay? And you're going to make up the index cards, and you're going to tape them up on your wall. Do not use heavy-duty tape. Just use El Cheapo. That's the other thing you're going to have to get, guys, is El Cheapo tape. You know, just the clear plastic stuff. You know, you're not Gorilla Gluing it onto your wall that it can never come off. You're just doing it with a little tab of tape. So you can take them off and move them, because that's part of it, okay? And what you're going to do is divide your wall into 3 sections. There's going to be this is what I want my dog to learn. Guess what? in the beginning, everything's in that wall, in that section. And then it's going to be, this is what we're working on, and I've introduced, and this is what my dog knows and does well. Okay, those are the 3 sections. What are they again? This is what I want my dog to learn. This is what I've introduced my dog to, and we're in the process of learning. And 3 is this is what my dog knows and does well. Okay, and that means that you've named it, that you don't need a treat for it anymore. And, you know, you can give a treat afterwards, after a training session that went really good, but I'm going to show you how we do it here. So here are my green cards. You want to know what's all included in my green cards? These are my easy, right? Clicker. That means introduce your dog to the clicker. This is like the first thing, and then it goes into that middle section, and then when your dog understands totally what a clicker is, it goes into I've taught my dog this. And yay! Because you need to remember this. Clicker. Focus on me. That's that autofocus. You know, click. Oh, that's click. Click. Awesome. Sit. Potty on command and potty on leash. Now, that doesn't mean like potty on the leash. It means potty while wearing a leash. Your service dog needs to know both. Let's go. Socialize. Now I've got my whole list on socializing. But you want to remember to socialize your dog. So that should be in the working section for a good long time. Come. Find it. Look. And that is the focus, but whenever I add the command to it. So if I tell my dog, look, I want that focus. The focus is just like, oh, it pays for me to look at you. So look is the actual command that I use. You could also use the watch or the watch me. I try not to use a lot of me's or its because I find them annoying. Stand. Touch with the nose. So when I say touch, I want them to touch with the nose. Implied stay, and that's for sit down in place. And that is where that smaller Sharpie is going to come in, is for this little notation stuff. Implied stay. Now, all those that I just read to you in the last 2.5 weeks, we have been working on with Roma. So if you're wondering where you're at, where you should be, Roma is now 3.5 months old, and we are working on all of these. Now, here's what's to come. Leave it. Thresholds. We're kind of working on thresholds. I needed to work on them a little bit more. Paw. So touch with your paw. This actually, even though it's a green one, it's an easy one. I usually don't teach it right away because I find it when dogs paw at me, it's very annoying. But they could paw at maybe a target stick. They can paw at different things. They don't have to paw at you. So I have target stick. And what is a target stick? I mean, it could be a pen and it means touch here. Then I could say, you know, like touch here on the wall, or, you know, touch here. And that helps transition that touch a little further away from you. And so you don't have to say touch, you know, touch like this. You could just say, you know, touch like this. So it's in the course. You'll love the target stick. Down and place. So I haven't even started down and place with her yet. Not really. But those are all my green cards. Those are easy, right? Those are the foundations. Those are the building blocks for a lot of what we do. Then I have my yellow. Now, yellow is a little bit harder. For some of them, they need to know green before they can move on to yellow. Okay, so yellow includes place with 30 minutes. It includes come 20 feet away. Now, she's already coming from 20 feet away, outside, but she's also a 3.5-month-old puppy, and that's going to change whenever she hits about 6 months, and she's like, the world, I'm going to ignore you. So, the green's like basically all the food stuff, right? Maybe a light leash work. Sit until released. Yeah. Down until released. You can see my Sharpie was kind of running out of ink on these, so I went through we have about a dozen Sharpies in the house, but none of them were fresh, which is why I told you to get a fresh one. And I killed all of them. Stay while you walk 10 feet away. Tunnel. I have a tunnel here. If you don't have a tunnel, that's fine. You do not have to go out and buy one. You can kind of set up your own tunnel with maybe some kitchen chairs and a blanket and get your dog where he's comfortable going into places that he can't see. And that's kind of the whole idea with the tunnel in the first place, or second place. Suit up, which means get your equipment on. Paws up. Get closer, which means they sit and they stop, right? But you want them to get a little closer to you. Get closer. Under. Tug. Off, which she's actually starting to learn now because she wants to put her little paws up on my lap. And I'm like, off. Retrieve. Center. Spin. Lick. Those are all my yellow tasks. So for some of those, the foundation starts with the green and then it moves to the yellow. And then think about it. If I put all of them up on my wall at once, I have a good visualization of everything I have to train. And then as I'm doing them, I would move, clicker to the middle one, sit to the middle one, find it to the middle one. And then as she's getting really good with them, and I mean, for some dogs, that might be 2 training sessions. For other dogs, it might be a week or a month. It all depends. But you're going to move it over to the, I've got this, like they're really good with this training session. And how you're going to structure then your training sessions with your treats, with your clicker, is you're going to sit down and you're going to look. And you're going to start with the stuff that your dog knows, right? Get them into this is what we're doing. And then you're going to transition to what you're working on. And then depending on how your dog's doing, you might even do one new one, right? And move that then over to the what you're working on, and then work on all those ones just a little bit. And you're not going to work on every single one. She has, half a dozen? No, she has like a dozen that she's working on right now. So I'll pick 3 or 4 of them and I'll bounce between those. So, for example, what did we do today? We worked on sit, touch, stand, come. So I could get her into a sit and click and treat. Get her into a sit, tell her she's doing good, and then tell her to touch. They get her into a stand. So when she's in stand position, click and treat. Have her sit again, sit and toss it and have her go find it. Then whenever she finishes eating the treat, call her to come to me. So if you just say, well, I'm just going to work on sit today. That's all I'm going to work on is my sit. What happens is your dog's sitting and you feed him. And he's still sitting and you feed him, and he's still sitting and you feed him. So what we like to do is we like to do that find it, because they're sitting, click for the sit, which releases them, and then you toss the treat to the side. So your dog has to go and reset himself, eat the treat, come back to you, and then you can get him to sit again. And so then he can do all of those. And then what is he working on? Sit, come, and find it. You're working on all 3 of them in one training session. Now, you might not even name them. Don't name it until you can bet me money that your dog's going to do it. So, I'm going to lure him into a sit when she sits. Click. Good girl. And then it might be say find it. Or maybe just toss it and let her go get it. When she finishes eating, pop, 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 if you want to get her to come back to you. And then as she's getting it, sit and then move your hand. Okay, so it's the same stuff. It's just this way to organize it. So you want to know what the orange ones are? Now the orange ones, the green is basic, yellow is intermediate, orange is advanced. So you want to see some of the advanced? You ready? Get ready to write them down. Place for an hour. I want your dog to have an hour on place. Stay outside while you go 10 feet or more away. Come from 20 feet away outside. Down and hold it for 5 minutes. Sit and hold it for 2 minutes. Pivots. So this is where we can introduce any of these things a little earlier. It's just for pivots, they need to know some stuff. Back up, which means I want them to back up. And some of these are like super advanced and some of them are just a little advanced. Rear paws up. Focus spin. Heel step by step, come to place, take, hold, and deliver, advocate for your dog, and find heel. So actually find heel comes before heel step by step. So again, we could have like a even more advanced stuff, but I just put them all together. I might go and separate them out whenever I'm working on them through with Roma, but I wanted to kind of break it down and give you guys a do this and see how it goes type of thing. And then what we did is I had pink. So we did bright pink for tasks. So I want you guys to have your tasks. And now I have a buttload of, how much is a buttload? A whole bunch of tasks here. for Roma. And these are what I want to work on with her. Now there's more, but this is what I had briefly. I have deep pressure therapy, stay with me during, go get help, which is go get Richard Luke, under my legs.
I'm here.
Block,
Is
which is be in front. I'm shooting a video, dear.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Cover to go back, and you smell. He was outside. Brace, counterbalance, forward momentum pull. Oh, and then I also have down, outside off leash, come outside off leash, stay outside off leash, place, and sit outside off leash. Place, I'm going to want them to hold it for probably 2 hours outside. So while those aren't technically tasks, I didn't want just tasks to be pink. I wanted, like we need to get the dogs to be where they're sitting outside off leash. So we have it where we intro it, where they're doing it until released, where it's, the orange ones are which ones are the orange ones? What are we doing here? Place is an hour, 2 minutes and 5 minutes, and then the outside off leash because they need to keep growing. And all that comes to all of these cards. Nice color coded. I can put them up on the wall. Hey, Rich, you're kind of a distance away. Can you see what color this is?
Green.
Can you read what it says?
Clicker.
See? So he is, maybe 10, 15 feet away from me, and he can read them easily. So you can put them up on your wall, get it going, put them up on your door if you want to. If you want to make a second set, maybe you're going to want it to say sit and put it by the door. So we have the door right here, right? I could put a card that says sit right there. So whenever I exit, I remember to have my dog sit. Use index cards, guys. They are dirt cheap. Once you buy your packet, you're going to have a whole bunch of them to use. You do not have to buy this many. But we use index cards a lot. We use them with the boot camp dogs. Every dog gets his name on his basket. Use index cards. They are cheap. They keep you motivated because you see all those cars and then you see them moving their way across the 3 levels, and it works beautifully. Okay, that is your training tip for today.